So when I first went to retreats, my teacher, Jason Siff, at the time, loved to end each day with a bedtime story. And it's actually a really sweet way to wind up the day after meditation. So people should feel free to stand. You can pace in the back if you want to. You can, I think you could probably even lie down as long as you don't put your feet at the Buddha. But just, yeah, relax, and it's a sweet way to kind of just let things wrap up. You can also just continue to sit. And generally these will be about 20 minutes, 15 to 20, and then people can return to their huts and rest or continue to practice as you like. And the reading that we'll begin with, and might carry us through the whole retreat, is a book, or an epic poem, rather, called Touching the Earth by Grevel Lindop. Raise your hand if you've heard of this poem. So it's not very well known, but it was read or written a few decades ago by a man named Grevel Lindop. It's the story of the Buddha's life, and it's not finished, but it's, in the words of Ajahn Jayasara, an absolute masterpiece. It's truly, truly beautiful. So we'll just begin reading it little by little. Just enjoy, and it's in the style of epic poetry, so begins with the poet sort of introducing his task, and then it moves into the voice of Asita, the sage who predicted the Buddha's future in the commentaries, or his path in life. Book 1. The mountain laced with copper underfoot is veined with miners' tunnels. The root of the matter lies deeper, nearer the heart of this red outcrop where the stories start. And myth, like water, gathers into springs, soaked clear by passage through so many things. Only a stone-cold purity remains, distilling past the sandalstone's crystal grains. Under the cliff, impacted rockfalls keep the boundaries of that poem-haunted sleep, where Arthur lies, ringed with companions, war gear, horses, a heap of strength that once pointed the future. Who will open the stone now, or pursue those passages alone? Lone steps are hard, and these lead further still, past the recesses of the human will, past kings and futures, past the bedrock of earth, past language, past the origins of birth. Past the self's trace. You gods who take delight in the creations of others, turn your sight into this place, a moment, ladies and lords, clothed all in flame and music, give and take words, once more at least with man before this age plunges into forgetfulness the page, unwritten, music stilled, the algae rank, on shrunken pools where the former poets drank. There is still time. Utter one syllable for us. Let it unfold in its long fall. Through the number, music, light into our world. Our speech where, like a seed darkly unfurled, by the wet earth that hides it can unseal. Fragrance, color, fragility, the real, uncontemplated pattern of an art, where beauty flowers from wisdom of the heart. Be generous, without you we are dumb, and stammering to your threshold I have come, bringing matter that asks all that you can, lavish on any work of God or man. Harsh and uncouth these words none now can speak, in harmonies like those the Italian, Greek, Latin or Sanskrit poets used to sing. In different times, our Anglo-Saxon making was hammered goldwork once, sharp and abrupt, kingship, swordplay and fire, the bright ale cupped in unflawed metal. We'll use what we can find, gold dust among the gravel, transmute the mind. As best we can, offer it to the Lord, the light bringer, the teacher who restored the lost path for our age. Give me your breath, to praise once more that way past birth and death. Outside the worlds, but starting from this ground, a prince's life, a Buddha's, his who found safety, coolness, a lamp, a jeweled gate, a garden where the unspoiled virtues wait. All is impermanent, that teaching must itself at last lie hidden in the dust, waiting another who will understand its subtle pattern drifted with the sand. Of our confusions, clear it once again, and show the world a path out of its pain. But now the way stands open for a time. Echoes of breath-born worlds can hold sublime, limpid harmonics of a perfect truth, rainbows and scattered shells, and if uncouth, or alien workmanship surround the theme. The intention's good, let these strange makings seem a kind of tribute, like that Viking horde, thrust under salt turf where Atlantic roared, and banged the cliffs, naively huddled in, coins, brooches, sword hilts, and among the thin, coiled earth-clogged gold and silver, a carved stone, Buddha statue, palm-sized treasure throne. There by what tides of sea thought commerce hurled, and cherished in a rock-fast northern world where no trees grow. The budding forests still clothe all the lower slopes of this rough hill. The wind harps on the alphabet of trees, beech, which is the book in the old languages, oak, which is the door. It is a March full moon, the times propitious, while the afternoon holds on. Familiar things keep shape, but light will take their substance soon. We enter night, and all things change. So we must leave our time, our insubstantial world, music of rhyme, even grown strange to us as it becomes, a tuned percussion of forgotten drums, a patterning of voices heard in dreams, light chiming in the mind's unruffled streams, whose fountains are in other worlds. From here, guide us, bright ones, through song and memory, steer our course over the ocean of this story, strange, human, limitless, told for the glory of the three jewels, in hope of blessing all beings, past, present, future, large or small, in every world, and now an end to doubt. Step past the line, the threshold, time to set out. Now it moves into Asita's view. Always there have been some who explored the octaves of the universe and poured the mind's energies into contemplation, refinement of the heart, bright penetration, of the one to the one, hunting in the mazes of world and mind for the well-hidden places where peace is found, to touch or pass through the circle of living light that binds in the conceivable. One such was Asita. How he had come to the bare rocky cleft that was his home, nobody knows. But as a hermit there, a bright-eyed, wrinkled sage with matted hair. He lived, poor as a bushman, owning a thin cotton robe, a food bowl, antelope skin, rug for a seat, a wooden staff, no more, fed by the villagers downhill who were in awe of his piercing gaze and gift of prophecy, and begged at times the herbal lore which he dispensed only in moments of real need. He lived a life from which both fear and greed seemed long since fallen away. In the rock's shade, or under a liquid blaze of stars he made, an art of stilling the breath, distilling the thin mountain air to a radiant essence within. The gaunt, scarred body, mind poised like a hawk, riding clear airs of thought, hearing God's talk, sometimes or merging with silence on this day, when his heart, turning homeward, found its way down through the spacious frequencies of thought, towards our world, its subtle hearing caught, ripples and happy turbulence of sound, as a shifting wind will bring scraps of a fairground, music to a child's ear on a summer noon. And focusing attention there, he was soon engulfed by a laughing cloud of gods at play, as a swimmer is seized by a wave and wrapped in spray. Their poignant happiness was like a perfume that flowered and broke in textured eddies bloom of wind-flung silk, powder of nebulous stars, a musical laughter in counterpoint over bars, of time profound and intricate in measure, of a world whose earth is intellectual pleasure. Gathering his attention, Asita framed a question, willed this gentle unnamed shoal of companions. Happy ones, if you can pause from the wheel of the dance that carries you, what cause sets you laughing and shakes the subtle air with sharper joy than a human heart can bear? And long, the answer rang like an echo. Long, by the string of time that threads up the world's song, have we waited for truth. We, the 33, have we watched the blossoms grow on the great world tree, grow and fade, and the petals fall to the ground, and never, among them, one new truth was found, until our grandsires, the gods who dwell in delight, took up the flower whose sweetness puts to flight greed, hatred, darkness, the baby born but once, in a great year of the universe of eons, who will untangle the intricate world like a ball of string, the master falconer whose call will summon gods like hawks to his hand, the child whose open eyes will break the spell that beguiled. Being since memory started, wakeful he passed from our world into the womb, and now for the last, time is born, and now is wrapped in sleep, not dreaming the path he must tread, or how he will keep faith with the quest the awakened ones in turn fulfill, enmeshed in human life to learn. Alone and tired, the lost and single way, which Buddhists can proclaim, and only they. Laughing, they tumbled back into their dance, and turned away, but Asita seized the chance, concentrating all his being to cry out, "Where?" And a floating cord unwound by the quivering air to Kapilavatthu. Only the echo remained. He bedded awareness once more into the wood-grained, sunburned statue of his body, stiff and dusty, on a stone ledge where the cliff was fractured into shelves and boulders made. From noon to dusk, a just sufficient shade, while heat poured over a steep valley filled with trees, except where thumb-sized fields were tilled, and threads of silver quivering ran between, pale strips of barley in the forest's green. Asita shivered too, and a cold flame lit up his heart. Then crushing sweetness came, so that he staggered as he rose to stand, pressing the rock face with a childish hand, seeing his past and future form a ring, act, result, process forged into one thing, past human knowing, Kapilavatthu. There, he'd start and end, a life spent to prepare for what would dawn in that remembered town. He stood to pray, then took his first steps down, the straggling cliff path to his shelter clear, and timeless now his last journey drew near. Should we keep going for another 10 minutes or call it good? Everyone up for calling it good, raise your hand. Everyone up for another 10 minutes, raise your hand. We'll call it good for tonight. It does now get into the Buddha's actual story, but trust me, the lead-up's worth it. So, if people now want to just continue to meditate, you can. You can walk, sit, or return to your places of rest, and we'll see you in the morning. Anything else, Ajahn?